ん何
その模様って。
ああ
What's good, anime enthusiasts? Welcome to another episode review on how to play Werewolf in Gnosia. And let me tell you, Gnosia really does have some meat to it when it comes to how to play strategy in a social deduction game. I didn't expect it to really go in full detail on very common scenarios that do happen within these type of games. If two people are claiming to be a role, whether or not a role that is capable of revealing somebody who you should choose, and how you should really conduct yourself within these scenarios as well, because certain personalities and the amount of time that you're talking really does alter or put a certain perspective into everyone's mind. So I do appreciate an anime being able to teach you something that you can apply to the real world.
All of my gamers specifically, they're gonna have a lot of fun with this episode. They're gonna see a lot of stuff to chew on, right? And you're gonna see a lot of your favorite strategies from something like normal werewolf, maybe your Among Us. I don't know how much strategy was played there, and Blood on the Clock Tower, right? And specifically dealing with those PvP elements, right? And there's no better character to explain that shit than my boy Racio. My guy is earning his place in this cast. I love him.
It's so crazy. I really do think the animators and developers were listening into this review, and they just needed to have Racio to shine and not take an L for once.
My guy deserves it, bro. Too bad he gets taken out first inning. He survived the meeting, though. That's good. That's a W for Racio.
Whether it's he gets voted out first meeting or he gets assassinated after warp, it doesn't matter. He's still the first one. He's still taking those L's.
Poor guy.
But before we glaze Racio too much, we gotta figure out who these two new crew members that we saw last episode. There's a guy that has a cat sitting always on his neck for one very interesting idea. It's a body modification, sort of. So technically the cat's head is on the right side of his neck, but in some shots and scenes you can see this silver like metal circle around the cat's neck that's also embedded within his neck. And on the other side it comes out, and that's where the rest of the cat's body, and it just sticks there. And then we have, that, by the way, the guy's name is Chippy. There's not a name for the cat yet. And then there's Comet, this tanned girl with some tattoos. These tattoos have a very scary origin, but we'll get back to that once we get to their specific scene. But other than that, so far, first impressions, I like Comet. Chippy, we can take it or leave him.
Yeah, Chippy, unfortunately, I feel like his cat in the neck really does carry his character so far. He's very almost standard looking. He's very normal, right? He seems like a very chillaxed person from what we see so far. Even his like clothing, it doesn't really pop as much as some of the other palettes that we see like throughout the cast. You can't really complain about him, but there's something missing there, and I think the cat fills all of it. And then Comet, oh god, Comet. She's gonna be a whole force, I think.
I think Chippy's, we'll say, kind of character default look really complements his origin, which we'll also get later when we get to his specific scene. Both him and Comet have a specific scene together, which we can delve further into their characters. But after we meet them, we get into the meeting room as usual. And currently, there's 8 of us. There's us as Yuri, Setsu, Chippy, Comet, Racio, Gina, Stella, and Yuriko. And also for this loop, there is determined to be 2 Gnosia and 1 engineer, as per the confirmations that the characters ask. The meeting goes on for a bit, and when somebody asks who is the engineer, Yuriko steps up and claims to be the engineer, and then Stella steps up and claims to be the engineer. oh god, it's Racio versus Yuri all over again. But here's where the Racio glaze comes in. As Racio goes like, oh, well, if this is the case, then we shouldn't even vote for these two this round. And you wanna know what? He's speaking the truth. JD, he heard you. He heard what you should do.
Yes, sir. I was saying this since episode 2, man. The second I saw that trade, I knew there's no information. I was so hyped up during that last time. To see this, it really made me happy. Thank you, Racio, for being the voice for us gamers.
Mm-hmm. In short, if you have two people claiming to be an engineering role or a role that says, hey, I can determine with 100% accuracy who is bad and who is good, then you really shouldn't vote either one out, because if you vote out the one that is actually telling the truth, then you still have 2 against your 6 going into the next meeting. But if you're lucky and vote out, the Gnosia in this scenario, then you're going into the next scenario 1 against 5. My bad. 2 against 5. Oh god. In the other scenario, my math was off on that one. And the characters, and Racio talks for a long time, and I mean a long time, explaining everything, and it is a good detailed explanation, and it does like put it in perspective for everybody. And then Setsu towards the end of it asks Gina, hey, is there something that you want to add to this conversation? Is there something that you notice or anything? And Gina mostly just stays quiet, not really saying too much or anything at all, really. Then the vote happens, and Gina gets put in the cold sleep. They listen to Racio, but Gina gets put in the cold sleep. Now, you're probably thinking, nah, that's kind of random. They just voted somebody else out. They could have voted Yuri out as well. Well, here's Chippy playing the newcomer role into the scenario, as he asks, why did Gina get voted out? And now it's Setsu's turn to give us a long and deep explanation of why Gina got voted out. Essentially, this is the other side of the coin that Racio in the earlier episodes got voted out, to where if you're extremely quiet, you're not saying much, you're not contributing much, signaling to other people that you might be evil because you're trying to hide. But if you're talking too much, as such in Racio's case, on the other hand, then you're probably controlling the situation too much, to the fact that you're signaling, hey, I'm trying to guide you guys into the wrong direction. Even though you're trying to be good, in either case, you still put off a negative aspect in a stressful situation. So what it boils down to is you need to strike a balance. You can't be too quiet, you can't be too reserved, but you also can't be too talkative and seem like you're trying to control the situation.
Yeah, and this is unfortunately the one loop where Gina is going to get that stick. That is sort of her trait. Even in the previous loops we've seen, she usually defers to other people when trying to form an opinion. She'll ask people their opinion. She'll say like, hey, I can get you to trust me, but I want to know that you trust me. She's more content to just be quiet and sort of like smooth her way through the loops and stuff like that.
Gina,
poor thing though. Oh god. If you were in the same situation, which side do you think you'd be on? Like talking too much, talking too little?
I would be, especially in, probably even now too, I would be a Gina in this scenario. I wouldn't talk too much, as I'm more of a analytical person, so I would like to hear everyone speak out, and then I could try to internalize things, and then the next day I'll probably give a explanation of what I think. But in the moment, as I'm trying to like process things, I'm going to stay quiet. I'm not going to say much, which unfortunately will put all the suspicion on me because I'm being too quiet. And I feel like if I talk too much, I'm not going to make any sense.
Oh god, I could see that being so real. Like me personally, I feel like it depends on if I think anybody in the room is smarter than me. I know, egocentric for sure. But I think I can like sort of put things together really quick, especially since I've played so many social deduction games. Actually, no, let's be so for real. I'd end up like Racio, voting out first every week.
I would really rely on somebody like Racio. If I was in these scenarios, I would try to buddy up with Racio and use their intelligence to my advantage. Because unfortunately, I need the cold hard truth and facts. Because if I don't have that, I don't want to second guess myself on a wild intuition. Hey, case in point, that's the name of the episode.
A banger. Banger.
But after we get the lowdown on why Gina got voted out, we now get to learn more about Chippy and Comet as we have a nice social scene in the gym. So we find out that Chippy, why he does look like a carbon copy anime character, he worked on a cargo ship. But when his cargo ship got to Liuan, he got mixed up in the Gnosia situation, and that's why he's on the ship. And Comet was a stowaway on said cargo ship. At the same time, we realize Comet is actually from another planet that is very, very inhospitable. So much to the fact that her people / tribe or whatever, they leave out their newborn children in the wild for the first few years of their life just so that they can like get used to the environment. Specifically, this microorganism that's like a symbiotic slime mold, which is what her tattoos are. They can probably appear or disappear, not to her command, but to theirs, and extremely dangerous. And it's one of the reasons why that Chippy and Comet kind of told you, hey, don't touch her. That slime, it'll swallow you up whole.
God. And like, did you see some of the visuals going into this? We never got to see these in the game, so like actually seeing Comet's backstory in like the planet was just way for the fans. I loved it, but it's also like, oh my god,
If you thought
this is so dangerous.
if you thought Darwinism as a concept was terrible, how about you see it realized through Comet's backstory?
Seriously.
And Chippy, on the other hand, this is so random. I feel like this is random. Chippy really wanted to be a cat, so he got surgery done, and that's the reason why there's a cat through his neck. Does it make sense? Not really, but hey, at least this cat has a long neck. And especially so because while Chippy is like running on the treadmill, there's this long tube that shows where the cat is also like chilling out somewhere else. And I'm like, that does not look normal, even in a cyberpunk setting.
And I feel like, oh god. So I think a lot of the setting, it is goofy, it's very like silly, it's very colorful, very bright. And you just get slapped with Comet's thing and then slapped with Chippy's thing back to back, and you're like, okay, so this is serious, but it's also like kind of goofy sometimes. And what I will say specifically about Chippy and Comet, they're like a package deal. And I feel like that's sort of going to be a trend coming in with like all the characters so far. Like you have your core 5, you have your SQ, Setsu, Yuri, and Gina, Racio. And those 5 will be like sort of a unit together. Separate, but they have like a unit, right? You have your Shigemichi, Stella. Those 2 are sort of a package deal in that like Shigemichi likes Stella, and Stella isn't kind of aware of that yet. But he'll like go out of his way to defend her type thing. Yuriko is by herself for obvious reasons. And then you got Chippy, Comet, and I feel like you learn a lot about the characters through their interactions with each other specifically, right? Like Comet is the one who helped finance Chippy's cat transition, and that Chippy never would have figured that out if not for sneaking Comet off of the planet with him on his cargo ship. I thought that was just like a cool thing. I love that.
And Comet has like a nice dream. She just wants to be a spaceship captain. That's it.
Bro, and the way she said it, she was just like, oh, it's kind of embarrassing. So it was like her childhood dream that she's just trying to realize now. I hope like there's another scene where she's like Gnosia and she like takes over the ship, and she's like, "Woo! I'm the captain now, yeah!"
Look at me, I am the captain now.
Yeah, dude.
But as we wrap up the scene, I feel, oh my god, this one threw me for a loop just a little bit. But Comet stops us before leaving, as Chippy is gone, long gone. She gets up to us real close, and it's that very same scene, like back in episode 1 where SQ is getting like close up to us. Comet gets close up to us and says, "Yo, you look fuzzy, looking like you're a lie." And I'm like, do you know that we're looping? Or do you have an idea that we're looping? Is your slime like increasing your perception and insight? Or are you telling me Yuri's a Gnosia in this loop?
And like this whole sequence almost made me ill, dude. Like I wasn't ready for it. Like surprise! I thought Yuri was gonna be Gnosia too. I thought Comet was trying to like say something about like how Yuri is like an anomaly or something. But then she just shrugs it off with a smile, like it's too much to think about. Bye, Yuri. Like I wish I could be that unaware, man.
No, but this is the same as when Yuriko pointed out to us about us having a distortion of us being a distortion. So maybe each of these characters are gonna have a scene with us that notices something about Yuri in this particular loop, that they're highly perceptive, and they kind of have some intuition that Yuri isn't what he's supposed to be, or here where he's supposed to be here, if that makes any sense with this loop shenanigans.
That's sort of what I hope for too, right? If not just to see more of the characters.
But war happens. Raquel gets got. Oh well. And
Rest in peace.
yeah, you talk too much. But hey, that's what you gotta do, Raquel. You did your thing for once. Yo, even if Raquel still does good, you're gonna catch a stray. You're just gonna catch a stray. It is what it is. It's definitely you. Now here's where Setsu introduces us to, well, throws a wrench into things, but also helps everyone out. Is Setsu reveals that she is the doctor. Now this isn't doctor in a sense of mafia to where you can save somebody during a warp or like the nighttime, because Raquel just gets got and Setsu didn't choose anybody to save. What the doctor is able to do is that they are able to confirm if a person is Gnosia or human when a person is put in the cold sleep. The doctor is then able to determine during that loop if that person was human or Gnosia. So it's the reverse of the engineer. Rather than the engineer picking a person during warp, the doctor can only pick somebody that was just put in the cold sleep to determine if they're human or Gnosia, which adds a lot more strategy to this whole thing. And I believe, she chose, she had to choose Gina, and she confirmed that Gina was human. So now the situation is that we have our 6 people and 2 are still Gnosia. We already know now that Stella and Yuriko both claim to be engineer, and now we know Gina is human. So if we are to believe that Setsu is the doctor, which is a human role, we can now confirm 5 people are still flagged to be Gnosia. One of them either Stella or Yuriko. Speaking of Stella and Yuriko, they come forward with their engineering role findings. Stella first comes up and claims Chippy is a Gnosia. Yuriko then comes forward and then says Setsu is not a Gnosia. Now I'm gonna let y'all marinate on this a little bit to find out the inconsistency in everything and the logical explanation that Yuri went through in order to pop off and give us the correct answer. Okay, time's up. JD, give it to us.
Oh, shit. Okay, so first I gotta say it for all my Gnosia heads who have played the game and those who may be a little bit confused. The anime is breaking the rules, and it's totally allowed to do that.
Oh
At
yeah,
the beginning of every day. Yeah.
yeah.
It happens out of order from like what would happen in the game. So when you're faking a role as Gnosia in the game, you have to deliver your report first thing in the day, right? So like if Yuriko investigated let's just brand new loop. Let's say Racio is faking Gnosia and they investigate Yuri and they're like, yeah, that man right there, he's Gnosia right now. And then Yuri comes out the next day and he's like, okay, I'm engineer, and nobody can counterclaim engineer. Racio gets caught in the lie, he's definite enemied, and then he gets voted out instantly, right? But what happens here is that Setsu reveals that they're doctor before anything else can report. So Yuri starts to put it together in his brain, his amazing, beautiful brain, and he thinks, that's way too convenient, Yuriko, and seems sort of practiced compared to Stella. So Yuri asks, hey, why did you guys report or investigate who you did? And Stella has no idea why. She cannot explain at all, right? Yuriko then has to follow up. Yuriko essentially says she investigates Setsu because she leads discussions normally. And that's a way more solid reason than what Stella has, in theory, right? But it's also vaguely unnatural for her to have investigated the only confirmed human and get that perfectly right, compared to Stella, who took a risk knowing that they would get nothing out of investigating Yuriko, and also didn't have the means to investigate Setsu, the only other definite human. Yuri, with his intuition, decides that it's more natural for Stella to be the true engineer as a result, and flips the whole thing onto Yuriko as fake engineer.
Mm-hmm. Since Yuriko scanned, we'll say, quote unquote, Setsu, in both scenarios, if either of them are engineer, Setsu is definitely confirmed to be human, no matter, what kind of logic you put into it. And it's because of the fact that Yuriko and Stella could choose each other to scan each other, but that wouldn't really amount to anything, as Stella would say. If Stella scanned Yuriko and found out they're Gnosia, but also if Yuriko at the same time scanned Stella and figure out that she was either A, Gnosia, or B, human, and if they both claim each other to be Gnosia, because Yuriko's gonna lie about it, what's the point? You're spinning circles. So they had to choose somebody else. And I'm pretty, like you said, I don't know the game, but if the engineers are supposed to deliver their report before the doctor, I still think that Yuri can still make that logical leap had Yuriko still chosen Setsu, and it also works the other way, where if the doctor reveals first and everyone else, they play not play the innocent, but they have to play the newcomer styles, like they're asking questions, and as Yuri just like goes through the logic, and at the end of it all, Yuriko doesn't really fight back after the logic. It's like she accepted her defeat, telling Yuri that, maybe you aren't so bad after all. And lo and behold, when voting happens, Yuriko gets put in a cold sleep, as Yuri planned. And as Setsu and Yuri are putting Yuriko in the cold sleep, Yuriko once again mentions something about another universe, another dimension, and about what if you met another me in another place, in another universe. And I'm like, can we not do this? We already did this with Comet. We don't need another one. Yuriko, you already had yours in another episode. You can't get two in a row. That's not fair. That's cheating.
Oh no. Oh no, I think we can afford more, Yuriko. Honestly. My queen only went down in this loop. I need to see her in like 16 more.
Oh man. But she does get put in the cold sleep permanently. When we get into the hall, we meet Chippy, and I so I like no. I gotta say it. I don't like the fact that Chippy just gave up.
Now, this is an interesting thing. I thought you would actually appreciate him being like, yeah, I'm kind of cooked, and just sort of like cold sleeping himself there. But why do you not like that?
It would be so here's the thing. What if Yuri was wrong?
No, and you're 100% right. What if Yuri was wrong, right? And I know we went past the scene, but when he was delivering this speech, I remembered Stella immediately was like, Yuri, oh my god, he believes me, and started hugging up on his arm. And I got mental flashbacks from Loop 3 where she did the same thing and was Gnosia. I was so prepared for that to happen, especially when Yuriko said, or when Yuriko told Setsu and Yuri, I'm not going to confirm whether I'm Gnosia. You'll find out soon enough.
Exactly. Because remember, and like all the other loops, if there's two Gnosia and you put somebody to go sleep, you're never gonna know if they were Gnosia or not. That's like for the doctor to determine, or the engineer if they pick, someone during the warp. So yeah, we can have Yuri go through a whole pop-off scenario, and when we get to hallway scene, it would be better, I think, in my opinion, if Chippy just still played it cool and also just seeded just a little bit of doubt into Yuri, just a little bit, just enough to make like the watchers go like, wait a minute, what if this thing was just a whole hoax and that we should have just not believed what we were giving, because nothing is 100% confirmed yet.
Yeah, Stella technically isn't definite human. Yuriko still could have been the engineer, and like Stella could have been the fake, right? There is room there, and I think in that situation it would be hard if it was like us playing in real life, but I think I would have to try and play it. I would have to try to do something. I can see where you're coming from now.
Yeah, I mean, again, the name of the episode is Wild Intuition. It could be the fact that Yuri had the intuition to really pinpoint thing and we're good to go, or it was so wild he was off base by that little bit. Like, yeah, Yuri was right 95% at best, but you still have a 5% room for error. But this is anime. We gotta take a dub when we can. So
yeah, you're right.
But this also, and we also do see Chippy's Gnosia form. It's it's okay. And while he's like giving up and giving a speech, he's like, yeah, you got me. His eyes go red and the cat's eyes go red, and I'm like, man, get out of here. And
yeah, this is one of those things. Chippy is just so whateverable.
Oh man. And they skip through it doesn't. So I don't know if this happens in the game, but if a Gnosia knows beyond a shadow of a doubt that they're going to get voted out in the next one, are they willingly go? Is he willingly going to cold sleep in this scene, or did they just skip over to like the next day and we just don't see anybody else get assassinated?
So for the anime here, it's 100% confirmed. He just goes into cold sleep willingly because he knows it's over. He admits it's over, so he's just going to take his loss and go into cold sleep.
Okay.
In the game, even if you're definite enemied, you have like some defeat dialogue where it's just like, why are you talking to me, bro? It's already done. And then you take out one more person before you get cold sleep in the next meeting.
Okay. So they just get skipped over the fact. Okay. I get that. That'd save us some time because, the episode was running to the end anyway.
Yeah, they were running out of time. I get it. I really do like what Chippy says as he's going anyway. Where it's like, it's crazy. I've turned into a Gnosia, but all my base desires to like become a cat still became the same, right? It really kind of hurt actually, because like they're still technically themselves. They're just enemies of humanity now, right? They're still like people.
Which begs the question: what are these Gnosia virus thing? What is it? What does it do? Why is it an enemy of humanity? Why do they attack humans? Like, what's the deal? if I'm infected, and I can be me still, then what is this virus thing? Like, that's what's questioning me. I don't care about Chippy like being who he is. Well, it helps like for the whole overall narrative and whatnot, but I don't care about the speech anymore. Get in the cold sleep, brother. What is this Gnosia stuff?
And then Yuri being Yuri, they're such like a heartfelt person. I feel like they're very empathetic, very emotional, even though they know they're gonna loop and Chippy is gonna forget everything he just heard. If he even shows up in the next loop, who knows? He may be on bench. He's like, oh, this isn't the end for me. It isn't the end for us. I'm just gonna go through again, right? Like he confesses to looping, right? And Chippy's just like, bro, what? What are you talking about, bro? And then he's like, oh, go.
I got something to say about it. About the whole scenario. I won't say that at the end. But yeah,
but like Chippy and his cat, they're just like, man, try your best, bruh. And then he goes into cold sleep. W loop, free win. We go next.
Before Setsu reveals that she has the silver key. So we looped again and found Setsu again with the silver key. I don't. We go to the next loop, okay? And while Yuri's walking through the hall, he notices somebody running in the hallways, but nobody's in like the main control room for the meeting for some reason. So he goes, so he like follows the footsteps, and he comes into, I think, the observatory room again, or the big, I guess, open space.
Lounge.
Yeah, and we see 2 new characters. One of them probably might rival Setsu. The other one, he's chill. He looks cool. And I see that episode.
My king and my queen on screen. Let's go.
Okay. I'm gonna get this off my chest. Circling back to Yuri and Chippy's final moments. Yuri has to be really sympathetic and empathetic, and it's gonna be heartbreaking for him every single time he goes through the loop, because you have to learn so much about the people that you're with that you have to relive their trauma every single time. And that is a very dark topic.
Loop fatigue is no joke. I don't know if you've seen any other regression stories. A very, very popular one is Omniscient Reader. You ever heard of that one?
I have not.
So it's there's 2 characters. The main character that we follow is the reader Kim Dokcha. He read Lives, with the main character Yu Jung Kyuk being a regressor who's done his loops like at least like some thousands of times or something like that, right? And one of the big things that Kim Dokcha has to do is sort of regulate Yu Jung Kyuk's mentality, because after going through so many thousands of loops, the guy just got depressed and gave up like a lot of the time. And like I was saying a couple episodes back when before Yuri like figured out who the Gnosia were his first time, and he got depressed, I can see that becoming like really, really sad for them in particular.
Yeah, because I know each and every loop, the characters can be different, them being more open, them being more closed off, and it kind of questions. Well, I know in the game and in the anime, they'll cycle through new ones each and every time because, you gotta go through it. But if in an actual real scenario, how many times are you gonna have to introduce yourself to the same person every single time? How many times are you gonna ask the person so many personal questions and invading questions that you have to build up their rapport so many times, each and every single time? You have to listen to their trauma every single time, whether it be something new or something old. And you kind of get to the point to where you know their triggers and you know so much about them that you can predict everything that they're gonna do. There's fatigue in the sense that you feel like the depression of what like why this cycle is keeping going. But you also get that you don't feel anything anymore. It's not so much that you're caring for the person anymore. You're now doing a job, a task, and you're just trying to get something out of them. You're a detective, and a detective is a lot worse than a therapist. Oh, I should say, there's a difference between being a detective and a therapist.
No, definitely. God, man. Poor Yuri, bruh.
Yeah, it couldn't be me.
No,
all
I
for the
couldn't. I quit after loop 15.
all for the sake of filling up this little life form that you're forced to do his bidding, because just because he wants to know much, and then once he leaves, who knows what's gonna happen next? But
That
no, go ahead.
I did want to ask you the two new characters. Let's get some first impressions, yeah. What do you think?
Uh, I like her. The other guy, like I said, he just look cool. That's it. The new girl, she might have something. She's giving off that rich girl aristocrat impression, which is unfortunately one of my minor weaknesses. And the other guy, he just like a cool cowboy. I'm I'm kind of thinking he might be a foreigner and like a play on an American, but that's it.
I love the cowboy aesthetic, right? So I'm hoping. I know the adaptation's going to do him right. He's going to be great. I love him. He's one of my favorites in game. And then her, I think she's already sort of doing like everything that I like about her in game, but I just can't wait to see him, to be honest. It's gonna be a good time.
Well, for the rest of all of you, let us know what you think about the episode in the comments below. What y'all think about the characters? What y'all think about default NPC Chippy and Darwinist survival of the fittest Comet, who leagues better than Chippy. Look, all right. We have established that Racio and Chippy are just gonna catch continuous strays from us from till the end of this anime.
Oh, not for me. Rakio's going up in S tier.
What if Racio?
If nobody likes Rakio, then I am dead.
I mean, I like Racio too, but this is like a one-time thing. They need to keep doing. They need to keep, pushing their stats. They need to continue. Otherwise, if they get voted out again next meeting, they're going back down. With that, y'all, I hope y'all have a good day, night, evening, morning, wherever you are in the world. And I hope your day is just a little bit better than it already is. Because you're not like Chippy.
Oh my god, this poor guy.
With that, we'll catch y'all in the next episode. Peace.
Bye-bye.